All right, we're back with the end of day PulseWave report of yours truly, the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave Price Trigger reports. All right, this is our special edition. This is our Take Back Friday edition of the PulseWave report. This is when we take a look at the markets for the week. So we're going to look at the weekly charts to see where the markets are currently, what direction it's headed, and what we could likely face for next week. This is when I give you the projections for the following week, a week ahead of time. And that's what we do. So without further ado, let's take a look at the first chart. And this is the Bitcoin futures. So far, the market is setting itself up for a primary crash alert going into next week. Now, for those that are unaware, tomorrow is Friday. Friday for cryptos, since these markets trade 24/7 and don't close, the way they are designed is that their Friday will last. Their Friday starts now. So like the futures and forex are trading now, and it's considered Friday. So Friday starts for the crypto market between 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard New York time, and it will run until 6 p.m. Eastern New York time on Sunday night. That's a Friday for cryptos. So cryptos have a very long Friday, if you will. So we have between now and 6 p.m. when the Sunday night markets open for Monday's trading. That will tell us where Bitcoin will settle or close at and what we're looking at going into next week. But so far, all things being equal, looking like the market is ready to fall down. All right, so that's what we're looking at for Bitcoin. Unless something happens, between tonight and tomorrow to change that. As far as silver, this is what it's looking to do. So far, it looks like we have a continuation pattern going into next week. Looks like a lot more upside potential is going to be there for SLV. Next up, we got the SPY, the S&P 500. And so far, this market is also setting itself up for a continuation upside pattern to emerge for next week. So we're looking for a rally in the S&P 500 going into next week. Looking at bonds, ticker TLT, the long bond is also setting itself up for a continuation rally going into next week as we've hit a new weekly high this week. Next up, we got the U.S. dollar index. The ticker here is UUP. This is the tradable, and this is the third week in a row of downside production. This one's looking to slide going into next week. So looking for more downside potential in the U.S. dollar. Looking at ADA Cardano also is setting itself up for a downslide going into next week. So far, we're setting up for a primary crash alert here, unless something changes between now and Sunday. Looking at Litecoin is also setting itself up for the probability of a crash alert going into next week. Again, unless something happens between now and Sunday, that's exactly what we can expect from the market. Looking at Theta going into next week, so far, same thing, setting itself up for a primary crash alert going into next week. So I'm expecting more downside for Theta. Looking at XMR Monero, it also is setting itself up for a primary crash alert on the weekly chart going into next week as well. Once again, unless something happens between now and Sunday. All right, with these cryptos, they are setting themselves up for a big fall going into next week. All right. This right here, this bearish pointer that was taken out on this bar here, looks like we're going to come down and test these supports. So get ready. Next up is Ethereum. I like to look at the futures on this one. Just FYI, I love to look at the futures for Ethereum and Bitcoin. All right, and right now we're setting ourselves up for a primary crash alert on the Ethereum futures as well. This gap that was made on this bar here that was not reconciled yet looks to be the first initial test on the down move going into next week. Next up is the Nasdaq 100 by way of QQQ. And as you can see here, this thing is still strong. We're at a new weekly high, and I think the bottom of the Kumo cloud is the target. So this market is setting itself up beautifully for a continuation rally going into next week. Next up, we got the Dow Jones by way of ticker DIA. And so far, kind of quiet on this bar, but I'm going to go ahead and call it ahead of time. I'm expecting more upside for the Dow as well. Bottom of the Kumo cloud is still in play for this one. So I think this is what is going to happen. You say if cryptos are going to crash, shouldn't the QQQ do the same? No, not necessarily, because the cryptos are not based on the stock indexes. The cryptos are their own vehicle, and they don't necessarily track with the stock indexes. There may be some slight correlation, but not really. If you're looking for stock index correlation, you're going to want to look to the euro yen and the euro currency. Those really move pretty well with the S&P 500, and the euro yen most of the times leads the U.S. stock market. All right, next up is the gold miners by way of GDXJ. You can see here, this one is setting itself up for upside continuation pattern going into next week as well. Bottom of the Kumo cloud still in play. So we're looking around that $40-ish handle for an upside objective for your gold miners. Looking at gold itself by way of ticker GLD. Nice rally here this week, setting itself up for a continuation pattern going into next week as well. There will be a challenge at the $170 level. The real question that is being asked based on the algo chart, so the weekly chart for gold, is have we put in the bottom? And is the market ready to start gunning for this massive bullish pointer that was made the week ending of March the 11th of this year? I think the answer is yes. I think we've bottomed in the gold, and the market is ready to rip and roar. Hence is why I'm holding my gold position. Next up is the Russell My Hustle. Russell My Hustle is also looking good going into next week as we hit a new weekly high this week. Bottom of the Kumo cloud here is around 210. So we still got some nice upside room to go. Looking to add to some of these long stock indexes. Here is Crude Oil by way of OIH, setting itself up for a primary crash alert going into next week. Now I know that when we are not so far away from the Kumo cloud, this is not a real strong support. I think the market's going to crash right through it. So get ready on the oil front to see some downside movement here as the selling is starting to heat up. Next up, we have, did I do the Nasdaq 100 yet? I'll pull it up again anyway. Yeah, well, we're heading higher. So there you go, man. This is what's up. This is what we're looking to do into next week. It's been a quiet week. Not a lot of noise, not a lot of volatility. You say Gala. Is that what you want to look at? Gala Power and Telecommunications. That's the equity you want to look at? All right, I can pull that up for you right quick. All right, this is what we got. All right, so this one's looking interesting. All right, wow, this is pretty flat. Not have a not a lot going on here. Volume is pretty minuscule too for an equity. Yeah, this one's flat, man. You've been in this long-term correction off of this high, and the bears are just ruling the day right now. Not sure when and if this one is ready to bottom just yet. Let's see, my man Dirt. I hope you're right. I'm still hoping for a double bottom on gold just below the 1681 low. Dex, you're a beauty. Thanks. Hey, thanks, my man. It's my man Dirt from the trading room. Yeah, I hope I'm right too, man. You know, the reason why I do this segment on Thursday with the weekly charts is to let us know how the markets have behaved for the week and what the trajectory is looking like going into next week. But as you know, those daily charts rule the day. So if any of these intraday price inflection points are triggered, then it is what it is. If you notice, if you go to the dashboard and take a look at, if you go to DEX's watch list, you'll notice that a lot of my long equity positions, those I've had to tighten up my stops tonight. So I'm looking at I'm running a high risk of getting stopped back, getting stopped out if the market decides to pull back tomorrow. So if we get some kind of sell off tomorrow, I'll probably be shaken out of those initial positions. But I'm not worried about it, because I will get right back in first thing Monday morning if the system gives me a buy signal. I don't really care what markets do. I don't care about day-to-day fluctuations. That's one thing about me. If I get stopped out, I'll just get right back in. I take every signal the system gives me. I don't care. I don't overthink things, because I know that the market's going to work itself out. Sometimes you get volatility when change is coming. The system is picking up what's going to happen, but the market is not liking and wanting to change. So you get this volatility to come in, and then you just ride the Bronco, just get right back on the Bronco, and then the market will pay you. It's just how it is. It's a psychological thing. Yeah, a few things are lining themselves up. I've noticed that a lot of the inverse ETFs are looking interesting as well, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just pull up just one just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. We can't be remiss in what's going on here, and I'm not. I'm looking at, if I gotta just ride an inverse ETF for a day or two, I don't care. But here's the weekly on the Russell, the TWM, the inverse ETF for the Russell, and it's been going straight down on your weekly. It's setting itself up for continuation downside going into next week, right? Now you pull up the daily chart here, and what do you have here? A primary rally alert for tomorrow. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? But conditions still got to be met, though. So that's why I'm saying I might get stopped out. I might have to ride some inverse ETFs going into tomorrow just for a day or two. And I know the question may be, well, why would you allow yourself to get stopped out of the longs? Why not just move your stop or hold those longs and then put on the inverse ETF? That's not how I'm built. That's not what I do. I use my stops. I let the system, the volatility stops play themselves out, and it is whatever happens, happens. It is what it is. That's just how I move. It's a discipline thing. All right, here's the SQQQ, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so the SQQQ, oh, come on here. All right. Okay, as you can see, it's been coming straight down as well. All right, on the weekly chart, flipping on over to the daily chart, and we get no rally alert. All right, same position and flow as your Russell, but no signal. So we may not see any fulfillment tomorrow, and I think that alert will go away and fall off by tomorrow's close. I'm almost certain of it. So we'll see. All right, folks, that's all I got. Hopefully everyone had a great week and are prepared for a nice weekend. I know I am. I've been working hard, so I am wore out, I'm tired. Want to rest, want to relax, man. And I'm looking forward to doing that. So y'all know what it is, man. Smash that like button. And remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I am out. Peace.